I wanted to make a video showing what I do to set up a new computer for a small business. This is the baseline configuration that I am currently using. It can be broken down into 3 steps. The first step being registering and onboarding the computer into Windows Autopilot. Step 2 would be after the computer is reset and the user is logged in, I would run updates, toggle security settings in Windows Defender, disable vulnerable services, and then install applications. Step 3 is mainly tailoring the user profile, such as their taskbar, printer, OneDrive, and then other files. I ran into 3 problems, which are basically the highlight of the video. The first one was not very serious, as you'll see shortly. It was a typo. The other 2 are worth going over because they are regarding settings and Entra ID that I definitely seen before, but never thought of twice until I got the errors, and I'm glad I did. By the way, here are the specs of the laptop. It's nothing too crazy, but we did need it. So basically, this is where I get started. The first step is to sign in with an admin account, an account with the Windows Autopilot device administrator role. That's the minimum. Global administrators, Intune administrators, and cloud device administrators can do it too. This is where I make my first mistake. After running install script get Windows Autopilot info, I tried creating a CSV file from scratch in Notepad and Excel by copying the serial number, product ID, and hardware hash one by one. This was not needed. I even used the sample file provided by Microsoft and pasted my values in Excel. As you can see, it still didn't work. The correct way to do this was to simply use the dash output file parameter with the get windows autopilot.ps1 command. The computer came with the C apps folder, so I just put the file there, but it could be anything. C scripts, C temp, C tools, C deploy. Once I did this, it worked fine and the device was onboarded into autopilot. I added my default autopilot profile to the device and I reset the PC. I'm going to explain the next error. Normally after resetting, the user is supposed to sign in with their user account and all the device and user configurations get applied. When I signed in with their user account, I got an MDM URL error. The thing is, the device is enrolled and secured, but the account isn't yet eligible for Intune. When Windows tries to auto-enroll the user during sign-in, Entra ID blocks that step, which is why I get the MDM URL error. This setting is found within Microsoft's Entra ID Admin Center under Mobility and then Microsoft Intune. When MDM user scope is set to all, Entra ID attempts to automatically enroll the user into Intune MDM at Windows sign-in. I signed back in with my admin account to configure everything at the device level from here. Once I'm done, I can sign into the user's account and it will be good to go. Also, I know that a lot of what I'm about to do can be done from Intune, but I haven't tested it yet, so it's actually faster for me to do it manually. I'm now on step 2 and I start by running Windows updates and onboarding the device into Microsoft Defender for Endpoint. Next, I toggle all these security settings on. In my experience, they are not always on by default, especially the ones regarding memory integrity, exploit protection, and vulnerable drivers. What I do now is open PowerShell ISE to run scripts to disable LLMNR, NetBIOS over TCP/IP, LM hosts, lookups, services, MDNS firewall rules, Internet Explorer, Microsoft PowerShell v2, SMB v1, NTLM v1, and TLS versions 1.0 and 1.1. Additionally, it creates firewall rules to block legacy NetBIOS ports, prevent downgrade attacks, and ensure TLS version 1.2 is used. Lastly, I set the net connection profile to private and set execution policy to all signed. At this point, all that is left to do is to install applications, which is really boring, so I am not going to show that part. I'm finished with step 2 and now I need to log in as the user to tailor their profile. This is specific to the company and network environment, so I won't focus too much on this either, but I do want to share the last piece of information I learned during the profile setup. When I signed in as the user, I was prompted to set up Microsoft's Authenticator app. I was concerned because I do not have this as a requirement for users within the tenant. I expected to be prompted with Windows Hello for Business, but each time I tried to set up the PIN, I was prompted to register the Authenticator app. Looking into this, I learned that Windows Hello for Business requires an already existing strong authentication method as part of the credential bootstrapping process before it can create a passwordless sign-in credential. This is set in Conditional Access under Target Resources and User Action. Require user information. If all resources, formerly all cloud apps, is set, require user information is automatically included, which is what I had. Even if I didn't have that access rule applied, Microsoft Entra ID still enforces a hard-coded credential bootstrapping requirement. That requirement is non-configurable. That wraps up my baseline image. I ended up importing a trusted certificate as well. These are the only configurations I have deployed in Intune as of right now. Only half of them work. Its aim is to minimize the footprint of Windows 11 bloatware, telemetry, and consumer ads. Eventually, I would like to have everything packaged and deployed by Intune, including the applications. Additionally, I would like to have these resources and templates hosted on my GitHub at some point. Thank you.